Hi, everybody. Let me turn the music down locally too, because I know it's turned down for you, but it's still blaring dance music in my head here. That's better. I can think once more. Ah. So, how's it going, everybody? You'll have to excuse me. I'm in my air-conditioned room rather than down where the camera's all set up, because it's literally still in the high 80s here right now. It was 86 last time I checked at 10:30 at night. Well, it's starting to cool down. That's good. It is still hot AF, as they say up here anyway. So, my sound mixer aside, check out what I dusted off today. This is the Theleston card reader app for the folks that haven't seen it in a while. Check out, like I had a lighting problem earlier that was crashing the whole goddamn thing, but check out the lighting now that it actually all works. Like, this is legitimately the best this room has ever. Oh, god damn it. I thought I fixed that already. Well, stupid fucking pink textures aside, this is the prettiest this room has ever looked. Hold on, let me fix that. Why is your collision marked as visible? Why do you have collision? Alright. You too, Owen? Really? Alright. Actually haven't run it since I fixed the lighting. I kinda want to see what it looks like under game conditions. You running? There you are. Well, that's not good. That's working, that's working. Crosshair for what you're looking at. Totally gotta add more light here. But I love how the existing light looks like it's literally coming out of the fireplace. I should put a better fucking fire in there while I'm at it though. Alright. I do wish to consult the cards. I also wish to look at the statue of Anima and the hourglass. Because it's looking pretty good. Alright, let's load up a reading. As I recall, I hadn't set up the rest of Verdes yet, so... Yep, that's what I thought. We got this one right now. Give me some stuff. Consultation of the Aether as regards the circumstances surrounding matters at hand, especially as they related to events in the past, that which opposed you, that which supports you, and that which stands in your future. Alright, draw a card. Represents the connections in your past that still hold sway over the matter under consideration. Oh, I'm gonna need light on the preview. Interesting, I didn't used to need that. Now you can't even see it. This card is called the Pact. It means a duty yet fulfilled, or a deal honestly made, or an obligation. Well, so far this reading's spot on. Fling another card. In this position, the card represents matters, people, or conditions that oppose the outcome you desire. That's the Six of Gyres. This card is called the Six of Gyres. Inverted like this, it means failed inspiration or false starts. That which opposes me. Oh, okay, that makes sense. The people, circumstances, and actions that support the outcome you desire. Two of Stars. This card is called Two of Stars. It means peace by threat of retribution or pleasures bought by pain. Oh. I don't like this reading. Card in this position represents the circumstances likely to occur in the future as they related to that which you consider. This card is called the Watcher. Inverted like this, it means manipulation. Oh, great. Fantastic. Alright, but that's cool. Everything seems to be working. I wonder, can I reset that? I thought that was the last thing I implemented. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So you can do multiple readings. I really gotta add a crosshair so you can see what you're looking at. Oh, the King of Hands, the manipulator. No, that's why fu. What's why fu? In this position, yeah, people that oppose you. Nine of Gyres. Material gain or accumulating wealth. That opposes me? Great. Our cards always spell my doom. Well, actually, that's not true. Sometimes they're ambivalent. They just never spell my good fortune. People, circumstances, and actions that support the outcome. Let's see. Knight of Hands, inverted, a discontented man. Oh, great. What's the future hold? Oh, the Two of Gyres. Change. Yes. Well, that's a truth. Thanks, cards. Bot Plus. That's what I should call this app. Accrue Botes. Alright. So, first things first, I believe I'm going to add that crosshair, because that's shit. I can't stand not knowing what I'm looking at. So, important question. How do I set the crosshair? Let me ask the great Google in the sky. Oh, I know how to do it, actually. I don't know why I'm looking this up. Well, on the other hand, I guess I'll figure out a way, if there's a better way. I like this song. There is not a better way. Alright, well in that case, I will do it my way. Okay, I can see there is, if I zoom out very, very far, UI canvas. I actually don't know. Oh, it's for the book. Got it. Okay, so we already have a UI canvas. So yep, I totally, and the dialogue too, I forgot about that. I'm gonna create a new panel. But I'm not gonna duplicate that because, oh, I'm looking at the fucking lighting panel, that's why it's all weird. Dumbass. Hi Paul, how's it going? Okay. Yeah, see, you have custom scripts, so I'm not going to use you. I'm just going to make a new one. Under HUD. Create an empty... oh wait, maybe I can just... I suppose I could. I could just do this. Crosshair. And then I can just add canvas group right to you, right? Yes, perfect. Okay. not interactable, and you do not block raycasts. Alright. Now I need a crosshair image. Am I cool enough to already have one? No. No. Oh, but I do have the UI Builder kit installed, so I can just use circle small fill. Crosshair, circle small fill. Just like that. And then I can make it, let's say 16 by 16? Maybe even too big. Yeah, that's too big. 8 by 8 maybe? It's a little better. It's even better. That's literally a dot. Perfect. Alright. There's no point. And you're not a raycast target. Stop that. Okay, perfect. And then in the player code, when you swap between vision modes, I'll turn that off and on. Where is the player code? Alright. Disable mouse look, enable mouse look. Perfect. This is exactly the functions I was looking for. That's convenient. Go to the definition. Oh wait, hold on. Hold that thought. 133. Now, where do I want to put this? Does the HUD have its own manager? It does not. Okay, so I'm going to end up doing it in here anyway. So I'll just define it here. Public canvas group FPS crosshair group. There we go. Now back down to line 133. Oh wait, yeah, to be fair, it'll be 134 now. Go. Cursor visible equals false. Cursor.lock state equals cursor mode dot locked. If FPS crosshair group not equal null. FPS crosshair group dot alpha equals 1. Now on the other hand, and that's into the free look cam, which is right here. So once it's done compiling, oh here, let me change my layout so you can actually see what I'm looking at. Default. Don't be like that, Unity. Come on, thank you. Alright, so you see this free look cam here? This is what I was just editing in the code. Now it has this God, I think I'm getting a sore throat. Now it has this FPS crosshair group variable, which I can then set to the HUD. Where is that? It's not there. In the player view, I can set to U. And now I think if I just hit play, oh, right. Hold on a second. Didn't think that one through. Maximize on play. Not free aspect either. You are 16 by 9. Maximize on play. Oh yeah, forgot to fix that. Alright. Yep, there we go. That's better. Alright, so I needed to make its default state on, not off. Or I need to make the default player state mouse mode and then go right click to look around. That's probably better anyway. I'll probably do that. Let's look at the code. Okay. There it is right there. So you look at M-lock cursor, and if it's locked, or I mean if it's true you lock the cursor, if it's false you don't. Alright, so that's simple. So I just change your default to true. And then everything else should just work, right? Wait a minute. I think that's backwards. It's the opposite of what I want. I want that to be false, which means something's not working. Hold on. Yeah, lock state. What's the default lock state? Oh, it's whatever it is. I understand now. Okay, well, wait. I'm super confused now. I'm super confused now, by the way, is a very common state for people looking at code they wrote months ago. Yeah, this is not working. So we want to lock the cursor as true then. Not tree, it's true. There we go. Now let's see what happens. Nope. Alright, so I'm obviously overwriting this somewhere else. In the player, maybe? Oh, that is the player. Where else would I be? In the game instance, maybe? Oh, there are probably typos all over the place. Call them out when you see them, Ed. Okay. Interactivity state. Oh, you know it could be wrong, actually. No, maybe not. Okay. There we go. That used to come in way faster. Okay, and when you're done with that, it should say like, right mouse button to look around. Yep, alright, so I need to do that. I need to teach the player how to play the effectively. How to use their skill. Seconds to idle. I'm guessing this is why it's coming in so late. Oh, that's a terrible way to do that. I see what I did though. So seconds to idle is how long you wait before doing stuff, so that's not why it takes so long. Oh wait, no, it is why it takes so long. I think I understand now. So once you wait until it's safe to start, find all references. When does safe to start happen? When the cards delegate is hooked up from the web, yeah, okay. That makes sense. I just think that maybe this part, that what's actually happening and safe to start, maybe shouldn't wait. Go to definition. I don't think you actually use. Yeah, see, I don't think you actually use, because you're not queuing the dialogue yet. Well, which is a good point, actually. Oh, I see, it's a double whammy. It both waits for the web and then waits for 3 seconds to idle. I totally see what's going on now. So what I'm going to make it do is run first frame no matter what by saying less than 0. Then I'm going to set the default value. Oh wait, that's not going to work. God damn it. Because of the way I'm figuring out how much time has passed. I should fucking... Whenever you go back to old code, you always want to fucking rewrite it all. I shouldn't do that, even though it's the right thing to do. In terms of code, it's the wrong thing to do in terms of production right now. All right, so what I was gonna do is I was gonna set the time since the last time it had done a loop. Yeah. Find all references. I might still be able to fake it. Because it looks like it's only getting set in the update loop, which means, yeah, okay. Well, maybe this isn't so bad. Maybe instead I can go last process equals time dot now. Oh, I'm using UTC. UTC. Okay. And then go last process dot add seconds to idle. And then that way on its very first frame it will already have a time value. That in theory at least will force it to run its update loop immediately, which means it should run that dialogue more quickly. Let's find out if I actually understand Unity. That's a little faster, but not much. Yeah, alright. So, that clever hack's not gonna work. Well, that clever hack's actually still useful. It's just not gonna work for what I'm trying to do. So what I want to do instead is find this stuff in safe to start. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to go extract method. We're going to call this intro dialog. Actually, we'll call it display intro dialog. And I'm going to copy it here, comment it out of there, put it in start. That's about as fast as it's going to get, period, end of sentence. So let's see what happens. Oh yeah, and I wanted to replace that fire with something that wasn't terrible. Forgot about that. Perfect, okay. Read your book, relax. Alright. Now I need a hint that's like press right mouse button to look around. Oh, cool. Okay. So next step, tutorial manager of some sort. Managers. C# script, tutorial manager. Oh, wait a minute. You know what though? I need to do something else too. Window. Window. Come on. Asset store. Shit I already have. The list that is actually alarmingly long. I don't hate this song. Yes, Unistorm, very nice. That's not what I'm looking for though, thank you. In case you're curious, what I'm looking for is I have a bunch of perfect graphics for doing the button overlays that you see in tutorial hints in modern games, you know, where it actually shows you the gamepad button or the keyboard key that you're supposed to press. And so I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, I'm just going to re-download that. Let's group by purchase date, because I think I got that this year. Let's see, it's all the free stuff I grabbed. That reminds me, by the way, oh yeah, I should import the open source pause menu. That's probably going to be useful. But what I was about to say is, there is an amazing amount of free stuff in the Unity Asset Store. Like, I had never done a search for free before, and I did a couple nights ago. And there is, like, a lot. Like, there's free stuff for just about everything you can think of. Some of it is not useful for us, but some of it was. So I went and grabbed a bunch of it. I'm still not seeing it. Where are you? There it is. Control overlays and button kits. Import that. Carrot cake yogurt is tasty? Huh. I don't know that I've ever had carrot cake yogurt. That sounds tasty. I could see that. I might even like that more than actual carrot cake, in fact. Okay, did that already come in? That was fast. How rare? Ah, no. Makes way more sense. Okay. Keyboard and mouse we're gonna need. PS4 and Xbox One, probably. Definitely not gonna need PS Vita. Yeah, keep Steam support. Don't know that I need the PSDs. I don't think I'm gonna make mods. On the other hand, I'll maybe be pissed if I don't keep them. Because if I find out later that I need to, then I'll be upset that I didn't. Well, on the other hand, I can always fucking re-import them later, so screw that. No regrets. Don't think I need demo scenes. I know how the Unity UI works. So we will keep it to the smallest set possible, with the optimistic inclusion of the Switch. Alright, let's do it. Those assets sadly were not free. I actually paid for those, but they are so hella useful under multiple applications that there was really no reason not to shell out the $5 or whatever it cost. Definitely worth it. Sadly, there are many, many files. The other sad thing is, while it's importing assets, you can't do anything else. So how was your day? I was just reading one of the stories that I had turned into a book in a previous session on this app, and was lamenting the amount of editing I would do to it now. I feel like I don't know. I feel like the reason authors have editors isn't so much because editors know how to make the best changes, but because they know when the best changes have already been made and it's time to stop. Oh crap, why did my sound go wonky? No, 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 no. That's more like it. Oh my god, it's almost done. What do you mean, what? I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't disagree. I'm just curious, what caught your attention? Oh, yeah. the article I was reading recently, or maybe it was that Twine game I was playing earlier today. I don't remember now. But regardless, the phrase that came to mind is greedy and risk averse, and it was referring to this particular sort of practice. Right. It's because they're not sure it's worth the money yet, right? But they don't mind cashing in quickly on ports while there's no good games out for it. But it's a Nintendo console, and like, barring some exceptions, publishing on a Nintendo console is not going to get you the kind of money that publishing on an Xbox or a PlayStation will, because you're typically always overshadowed by, by Nintendo's games, right? Partly because Nintendo understands their platform, but that's an entirely different conversation. From the business standpoint, it's why bother investing the time to do it right when the chances are our opportunity only exists in exactly this moment when there are no good Nintendo games out. So, instead of wasting the time doing it right, let's cash in as quickly as we can. And then, if the platform sticks around after that, maybe we'll invest time later. But in the meantime, we got some value out of it, right? And from like a survival standpoint, if you're a publisher, from the standpoint of making sure your choices make you money, that makes perfect sense. But like from an art standpoint, from a gameplay standpoint, from a entertainment standpoint, it pisses me off to no end. Right? It's the opposite of why all of us got into this goddamn industry. You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally the opposite of what all of us set out to do. And so when you find yourself on these projects, you're like, shit, all I'm supposed to do is port this game and just get it running. I'm not even supposed to like make it work right. So, for example, you might find yourself working on, I don't know, I'll just use a completely made up and random example, the multiplayer portion of a well-known new installment of a well-known enduring franchise. And you may be told by the people who are actually in charge of the entire game that you're not allowed to make any of the optimizations necessary that would have made multiplayer work right, because those optimizations wouldn't be made in the rest of the game, and you would make the rest of the game seem broken if you did it. Right, and you're just like forced to eat it, because that's your job, and so you take this hypothetical multiplayer mode from a well-known franchise's latest installment, and it's a piece of crap, and there's nothing you can do about it. You were literally told that was your job. It's not that easy, Watts. It's literally not how that works. I mean, I know what you're referring to. So, like, it takes a lot of effort to and by effort I mean money and influence, to become the kind of developer that Nintendo actually pays attention to. If you are one of those developers, however, they are happy to help. Say, for example, if you were working on a Wii U title, or maybe only part of a Wii U title, and you needed multiplayer consultation, that was probably only going to happen because, the project you're working on was the latest installment of, say, a well-known franchise or something. If you're just like an indie gamer, an indie dev or something, what you're probably actually going to get is an exchange of emails with people. But you're right. If you're EA or Bethesda, in theory, yeah, pick up the fucking phone, call your rep, and be like, we can't make this work, and they'll fly out an engineer. I've seen it happen. It's just, it never happens for the guys who are actually making the games. It always happens when it doesn't matter. like, for example, we were working on Auto Assault way back in the day, and we were using this rendering engine that NCSoft had created called Palantir. And we were having a hell of a time getting it to render at frame times, like to the amount we were having a hell of a time making the amount of time it took to render a frame small enough that we also still had time left over to do the physics and object destruction and stuff that the game's tech was based on. And they sent us out, they sent us out a couple of engineers, which was dope until the engineers showed up and they were like, yeah, we're probably all getting fired in a week. It's really terrible. Nobody actually like listens to us. The engine never gets updated, but whatever. We'll do what we can for you guys. So sometimes even one that does play out that way, you still get screwed because what you get is the guys they're willing to send out. But yeah, if you're fucking EA or Bethesda, that isn't your experience. If you're EA or Bethesda, they probably have a permanent set of fucking developers assigned to you. There, it's just like I said, all about being risk averse and greedy. Let's see, I already got everything I needed installed in here, didn't I? Yep, I did. I will not be seduced by experiments with new assets. Instead, I will open our tutorial manager. I agree, man. I totally agree. Alright then, how's this thing gonna work? Yeah, it also kind of screws everybody else, right? Because, like I said, if you're an indie on one of these platforms, you're not getting the kind of attention that an EA or a Bethesda is. So when they use those resources you don't have access to bust out, a steaming pile, you're kind of fucked because not only did you not get the resources you need, which means your game isn't as good as it could be, it means that players come to expect steaming piles out of that platform, and they're like poisoning the well for everybody else at the same time, right? And you're right. The fact that they've sold so many Switches is going to make EA and Bethesda. Well, I don't know about that. I'm being mean to Bethesda because I actually don't know anything about the quality of their ports yet. But I know EA, and I know them well enough to know that they're going to eat. They're going to eat pie on that one. They're going to eat crow. It's going to come back and bite them in the ass, and they're going to end up, a year from now or a year and a half from now at some trade show, seeing a statement from this guy where he talks about how they have a renewed commitment to the platform and we're really going to bring our best games forward and all of that. And that's because they're going to be scrambling to grabbing all the money from the people who bought more Switches than goddamn Xboxes. Yeah, anyway, I'll stop ranting. But, yeah, seriously, it's a problem. Ubi did this too for a long time. That said, I actually like a lot of Ubi games, so I actually, I actually generally let them slide if I'm being honest. Okay, so the tutorial manager is going to have a few things here. We're going to need transform. Hold on, I should probably do this right. Public transform key icon location. Then we're also going to have to do public. Oh, I should use TextMesh Pro for this so that the text is clear. Is it TMP? Oh no, I don't have TextMesh Pro installed. Oh. 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 But Unity's default font system sucks. No disrespect to Unity, they actually know that themselves. That's why they bought the guys that made TextMesh Pro and made it free for everybody. But I forgot, this project predates TextMesh Pro being free for everybody, so it's not installed in here. Which means I actually do want to press the update button I was making jokes about earlier and import TextMesh Pro. That's not good. What the fuck was... what? What are you doing? I am so confused. What the hell is happening? Why is it... Stop! Alright, I'm gonna let Unity freak out for a second here. Because that seems to be a thing it's doing. So anyway, when it's done freaking out, and I have this version of TextMesh Pro installed, the trick is I'm going to set up the hint system so that it's actually two slugs of text, one on the left of the icon location, one on the right of the icon location, and I'm going to set them up in a little layout box so that it always pushes the text out based on the size of the icon. That way, wherever it shows up, it'll always be nicely centered with the text inline so that it doesn't look like, it's made out of Duplo blocks or something weird where, like, there's an obvious space for the icon to go and the text doesn't flow right and all that shit. Because the cool thing about even Unity's default text system is that you can do things like change the justifications of your words, and then with their UI system you can do stuff like snap layouts together. So between all of them it should look nice and dope. And so maybe while it's freaking out I'll go write some code and just skip that part for now. But I'll just use text. Right, isn't it text? It's not text, was it text field? We'll call this left text. Cool thing about TextMesh Pro is that once you make a couple of real quick changes, any code that you wrote for the original UI system will just work with it. You just have to point it at the right variable type and that's it. Okay, so left text, right text, key icon location. Then we're going to want a public list. Oh, maybe I want to do actually a dictionary. Key code game object for hint icons. I'm gonna have to build that by hand, which I actually don't even know if I can. I might actually need to build a custom editor for that. We'll see. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to associate a key code, which, just to give you an idea, is like an enum that lists all of the possible inputs a player could enter. But that way I can look up the icon based on the key code that I want to display. Which actually, the reason I stopped and ummed myself is because I realized I'm also going to have to write a data structure for the actual hint, but that should be fine. God damn it. Stop being keyboard crazy, you bastard. I was trying to manually fix the line endings that I'm sure it's going to tell me about anywhere. Okay, so then I'm going to need to, I'll just do this right down here. I'll go public class UI hint. Probably doesn't need to be a class, it can probably be a data structure, but that's fine for now. Key code, hint key, string, hint text. Okay, and then I'll do like a token value. Here, I'll write myself a note so that I remember. Use a token to represent where the icon goes. E.g. icon or something. Okay. Next step will be public list UI hints. not sure if I'm going to care about that or not, but just in case I want to do something where we only show hints one time, I can maybe figure something out with like a player data structure later or something. Just future-proofing, basically. Okay, and let's just initialize that right out the bat. Probably is already serializable, but just in case. Okay, oh, and now we're going to want public canvas group, hint group. Okay, start if hint group not equal null, hint group dot alpha equals 0. Oh, actually, I probably want to do. Well, probably not actually, because they're probably never going to be interactable. Oh, you know, I actually haven't talked to Ombo about that yet. I've been a little busy this week, so I actually haven't circled around. You know, we were trying to scramble to make up for lost time, and I actually haven't circled around to talk to Ombo much beyond our little tete-a-tete about the map and stuff. Oh, nice. You going to the Daybreak Fair? Or is it? Or is San Diego Comic-Con this weekend? I thought that was later this month. I'm kind of curious about that Daybreak job fair, actually, even though I don't know that I would apply for a job at Daybreak. Just, I think I'd like to go just to talk to the people there. Oh, cool. I'm looking it up on the internet. That looks rad. Alright, so anyway, I'll turn off the hint group as soon as the game starts. That way, if it's accidentally left visible while we're working on it, it won't matter. Now I want to write a routine. Public void setup hint key code key. Yeah, nice, man. I don't know. I don't know anything about Daybreak since since the last bit of EQ Next drama. But I don't know. That intrigued the hell out of me when I saw the flyers for it. I was like, oh, I wish I was down there. I would totally go say hi. Sell us some Skyward while I was at it. Okay, so when we set up a hint, step 1, retrieve the hint from the list. Step 2, split the hint string the hint token. Step 3, assign left side of string to left text. Step 4, assign right side of string to right text. Step 5, kill all the things childed to the hint location. Then step 6, fetch and instantiate hint icon. Yeah, I didn't realize DCUO was in Texas. I mean, it makes sense. I just didn't think about it. You're right, it's run more like a business, for lack of a better phrase. Alright. Step 7. Instantiate. Hint icon. Oh, whoops, it's already instantiated. Hint icon to key icon location. Alright. So, now to make that happen, public UI hint, fetch hint, key code key. If UI hints not equal null, and UI hints dot count is greater than 0, for each UI hint and UI hints. Fucking do that as a link query. Should get used to doing that. Wow, Gunbound. Wow. Yeah, right. In my experience, most meritocracies assess different merits than I expect them to. Huh, that could be fun, man. Yeah, I haven't played Gunbound in a long time. Alright, I should probably get back to what I was doing though. Running out of time. If hint dot... Oh, god damn it. Really? Yes, really. Because I suck. It's not a struct, brah. They're not public by default. If hint dot hint key equal key, return hint. Otherwise, return null. Okay. So now we go UI hint to show equals fetch hint to key. If hint not hunt, if hint to show not equal null. I just realized this is a terrible system, but alright. That's alright. I can repurpose it later. Stick to my design while I can get it done. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if NetDragons is like a is for China's, RASM games. What Backflip is for America's RASM games. Okay, split the hit string. So, how do I do that? That's hit to show dot text. There we go. Yep, string left text equals. There's a way to do this. There to split. Oh yeah. Split string. We will use. How about tilde? We'll use tilde. Oh, whoops. I fixed that already. If split string null and split string dot length equal to yep, that'll work. Childed, dumbass. Okay, game object. Actually, there's probably an easier way to do this. I think I've done this before. For each transform child in key icon location. Yep, there it is. Destroy child.game object. Okay, now I need to write like game object fetch key icon prefab key code key. Okay, so what this is going to do is this is going to say int icons are you should also be initialized as a new dictionary. Okay, so fetch key icon prefab is going to go if hint icons not equal null and hint icon icons dot contains key. Do some stuff. Else return null. So basically, it says, "Hey man, as long as there's an icon dictionary and it contains this thing, we're going to do some stuff. Otherwise, return, oh, we're fucked." That's what that piece of code says right there. Okay, and then so now we go game object prefab equal hint icons dot. Oh, right. I remember now. What's up, kitty cat? Cat just walked up on my desk to say hi. Sorry, you'll have to give me a second. Oh, better. She wouldn't let her go unattended. That would be ridiculous. Alright, here we go. Game prefab equal null. And then we want to go if int icons dot try get value key out prefab and prefab not equal null return prefab. Actually, you can just fucking return prefab regardless, huh? Because if it's null, I'll know it's fucked up anyway. In fact, I can just do this and then not have to write any fucking fancy code at all. Right, just like that. Okay, now I can come back to step 6 up here. I can go fetch and instantiate the hint icons. So game object icon prefab equal fetch key icon prefab key. If icon prefab not equal null, game object icon equals icon prefab dot instantiate. Oh no, wait, equals instantiate icon prefab. If icon not equal null, icon dot set. Sorry, dot transform dot set parent. Key icon location. Icon dot transform dot local position. Equals vector 3.0. Icon dot transform dot local rotation equals quaternion dot 0. Oh really? There's the quaternion dot 0? Oh yeah. We'll do it as local Eulers. That may not actually be right. Let's see. I may only need to change the location. I may want to preserve rotation. We'll see. In the meantime, though, that ought to work. Oh. Alright, there you go. Now that routine there, that method, will, when called, fetch the appropriate icons and hints, set up the widget. Maybe I ought to make this a bool, and then be like, if you get here, return true. Otherwise, return false. The reason I'm thinking that is because I'm also still going to have to like fade in and fade out stuff. Shit, that reminds me. Make sure the hint is invisible. Here. All right. Next, then, will be public void show hint. Maybe I actually want to do it this way, show hint. And maybe this is the one. So these can actually be private. Sorry, I was just thinking ahead of time to how I'm going to write other code that's going to end up calling the tutorial manager. I was thinking that really I just want to call one routine show hint, and then it can go if set up hint key show the hint, else report the error, just like that. I will admit some influence in that regard. I remember, man, I saw that movie. Oh, man. My mom was out on a date with this dude that she worked with at the college. She worked at Cal State Fullerton down in Orange County, for those of you in California who know the area. And this dude ran some aspect of their theater program. I don't remember exactly what he did. I think he taught playwriting. I don't remember. Maybe it was, yeah, I think it was playwriting. Anyway, he was a professor in their drama department. He was a cool dude. And you know, playing Mr. Nice Guy, he would take me with, you know, dates with my mom, right, to show that he was like cool, that, you know, she was a single mom, right? I mean, this is the 80s, dude. To understand, single moms were kind of rare, right? I mean, everyone knows, but for any of you younger than that. So I remember they had this whole day planned where they were like, they were going to go down to Newport Beach, and they were going to they were going to head on down to Balboa and walk on the boardwalk, and maybe we'd do a boat tour, and oh, it would be so cool. And we're driving down the highway, and I look over at the Cinedome, and it says, now playing Tron, and I'm like, oh, we have to go see that. And the dude was just nerdy enough that he looked over at the sign and was like, yeah, all right. And so they totally bailed their entire plan and took me to see Tron, and it was like, you know, life changing. I could not want that world more. But yeah, Flynn hacking NCOM for proof of his past work being stolen. I probably wanted to learn how to code at that exact moment in my life. Oh yeah, right. So I need to write a routine for show the hint. With 7 minutes to go. Well, this will probably be pretty quick. Public void show loaded hint. hint. Which means now I have to write another one. Public enumerator fade in hint. So let's see. Let's go yield return new. How do we want to do this? You know, maybe actually this isn't the way I want to do this. That's actually extravagant and not necessary. Just do it this way. So I think I actually want. Excuse me, Annis. My cat is not appreciative of the amount of attention I'm not paying her, so she has decided that sitting on my mouse is the only way to get the attention that I'm not giving her. Next, she'll move on to pressing keys and stuff. Oh yeah, man. I think it would have impacted me differently at that age. Like, because by 15 I was already a hardcore software pirate. So Tron would have been more like, you know, doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would have been a totally different experience for me at 15. But when I saw it, you know, which was not that many years earlier, it was what, 6 or 7 years earlier? It was like 8 or 9, something like that. When did Tron come out? '82. Holy crap! Excuse me. All right, so I was 7. So half a teenager's lifetime apart. God damn, that was really 1982? That explains why it was so fucking magical to me. I was 7. Anyway, pardon the nostalgia trip. I'm just a Tron fan. I ate up that ARG for the Tron sequel. Oh my god, I dove into that so hard. Verde's in the movie because of that ARG. Actually, you can see him at the very beginning when Flynn's kid does the skydiving thing into the NCOM presentation. He's holding up a big ass sign. It's pretty funny. You can't, like, because of the sign, you can't see that it's Verde, but if you know the sign, that's Verde. Alright, I need to get to a point where I can wrap this up because I am running out of time and I still need to do this stuff here. So what I wanted to do is go if fade in and hint group dot alpha not equal 1, then int group dot alpha equals mathf.lerp. Oh yeah. Int group dot alpha 1 time dot the time times 3. Really, 3 ought to be like fade time or something. Nope, can't do it. That's too bad. I was hoping for a shortcut to let me do something like actually even greater than or equal to 1. I don't know how that's possible, but just in case. Fade in equals false, shown equals true. Else if fade out, and I might not even need shown, and group.alpha not equal 0. Oh yeah, it really should be equal, huh? I'm probably going to want to snap that at some point, because of the way lerping works, it'll take forever to actually hit 0. Hint group.alpha mathf.lerp hint group.alpha comma 0 time.delta time. I like how RK in this particular line looks, right? Hint group.alpha equals math.lerp hint group.alpha comma 0 comma time.delta time times fade speed. Right, but like, really, all this says is, hey, make its transparency a step between its current value and 0 along a line. Right, and you want the step, the percentage that equals the time this frame took to draw times your speed multiplier. So like, if you think of transparency as a number between 0 and 100%, it's basically going, hey, whatever percent I'm at, I want to get to some point between here and 0 that's equal to, let's say a frame time is 0.6, equal to 0.6 times 3. Right, so it goes, oh, well, 1.8% of the distance between here and here, that's this right here, and then it returns that value. And like that's literally all it does. And so you get a nice linear, fade, right, based on your speed, That's it. That's all lerping is. I remember when I was really new in the industry, I would hear, I should probably mention, I had no, like, classical training in math beyond like really basic beyond trig and calc A basically at the time. And so I would hear them say things like, oh, we'll just lerp it and stuff, and I was like, that's like magic spells, what the hell is that shit? So funny years later to now know it doesn't mean shit. It's a linear interpolation along a line. It's fucking geometry. You just use magic words to obfuscate that. Yeah, I actually, when I'm down and dirty, that's exactly what I do too, Neuro. I only do it this way on like pro shit because it makes the fade nice and smooth. Like, that's it. If I was like super slick, you could use lerping along a line with various tricks to do things like, elastic in or ease out and stuff so that the fade behaves the way you want it to. But I find that honestly a nice, smooth, linear fade is perfect. Nobody complains. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm actually right. I think I don't need that shown variable, by the way. Let's get fade out and end group.alpha equals 0. Fade out equals false. Shown equals false. See, right now I'm setting false, but I'm not actually, or I'm setting shown, but I'm not actually using it. So I strongly suspect I'm never going to use it, but it's okay. So now in theory, what'll happen is somebody will go, hey, I want to show this hint. They'll come in here, it'll run the setup, which will set up all of the variables and make it invisible, and then if that works, all you really have to do is go fade in equals false. in theory, anyway. Otherwise, you know, debug.log error. Tutorial manager. What's this error going to say? Cannot show hint for key. That's key dot to string. Set up failed. Comma. Setup failed. Alright, so assuming all of this data was set up and all of the stuff was wired up appropriately, in theory, now all I would have to do would be call this show hint. Oh, I should make this a singleton. Now that I think about it. Public static tutorial manager instance. Then in awake, if instance not equal null, and instance not equal this, destroy this dot game object. Oh, actually I don't need this, I can just say game object. It's funny, that happens to me all the time. I get into these like thought ruts. You'll see it in my speech sometimes. I'll hit on a phrase in the beginning of a long piece of dialogue, you know, a long piece of speech, and then it'll start to reoccur later in the speech as I'm going, because it's faster while I'm improvising the text. It's dangerous though. Let's see. Else if instance equal null, instance equals this. There. Instance singleton. Now everybody can access this by calling tutorial manager.instance without having to be manually wired up to it, which is fan-fucking-tastic. Oh, I also need a hide hint, don't I? And I need a hint lifetime. Haha, see? Public pool, or no, public float. Hint lifetime. 3 seconds is probably an eternity. Okay. These actually don't need to be public either. Go float. Time live equals 0. If shown, hey, look, I'm using it. Time live plus equals time dot delta time. And actually, that's a bunch of code here. Hold on. Time alive equals time dot delta time. If time alive greater than. Oh, god damn it. I'm going to set the hint as a global variable. That's alright though, hold on. Target lifetime. Fade out equals true. Shown equals false. Don't do that. Okay, so I'm forgetting that I need to do something after making that change. I can tell. I can feel myself not remembering it. What am I doing here? Then don't, if time alive is blah blah blah, then you fade out. Fade out is false. Ah, yes, I remember now. Instead of hint, I also need to go. If hint to show equals null, then target lifetime equals hint to show. Hint lifetime. There we go. Okay. So the only bitch is if you send multiple hints right now, it's not going to queue them up and show them one after the other. It's going to supersede one with the other. It's also not going to mark in the record of hints that your hint was actually shown. Depending on how I work out triggering these hints, that may not matter. That said, this is a pretty decent stopping point for me tonight, and I am already a little bit over. So, I believe I am done for the evening, so let me close that. Let me check this in. Yes, I know, I upgraded. Let's see. Added a crosshair to mouse look mode. Built the framework for a hint system. Though it still needs UI, art, and hint authoring. Which I think I'm going to do next session. Because the truth is, if I can get past one particular problem, which sadly I kind of did not get past today, which was actually my goal, but that's fine. It turns out that what I want to do is a pain in the ass. But so, what's holding us back right now from actually like just finishing this is that we have no way to animate our fortune teller. The model's rigged. Well, let me rephrase that. The model has bones, and I can assign those bones to a Unity compatible rig if I go through the effort of doing so. And it's kind of a pain in the ass, and it's like super unforgiving in that if you fuck up, you generally have to go all the way back and start over, and you're literally building a skeleton. Like literally, you know, hip bones connected to the knee bone, connected to the ankle bone, connected to the foot bone, like literally, right? And so it's just tedious and it takes forever. But if I can get that rig built, I have a set of animations. They're generic, they're not really perfect for what we want, but I have enough animations that she can at least not look like a wax statue. And provide motion in the background, which is actually her role, because just drawing the cards is not particularly artful because we don't, you know, have a bunch of artists here, right? And so I spent the day building and then fucking up and then building and then fucking up this rig and decided I would polish some other stuff for my stream instead because that was like an exercise in frustration that maybe I didn't want to share with the public, if you know what I mean. That said, you know, not a huge deal, just a bottleneck for us, and we can't really ship until it's done. But that said, there are a few other things that need to be done. You know, the polish that I was doing today, for example, the UI hint system, and then ultimately the main menu that actually, you know, launches the game and brings you into this environment and all of that stuff. Not to mention VR support, because that's supposed to be a thing we're going to add here. And I actually have the VR toolkit. I just need to learn it now. But that's a, you know, we can actually ship without that and add it later too. That's fine. Especially since, on mobile phones, it won't be there. Mobile phones probably won't have mouse look either. So it'll be menu, a menu in here and a menu in here. So I'm going to have to work that out too, actually. So, now that I think about it, there's probably actually about 120 hours worth of work left still. So anyway, I thought maybe I should get back to it. And so I think I'm going to, on streams, I'm actually also going to try to stream dev work more often because, it's what consumes all my time anyway, and might as well share it with you guys, right? That said, I'm actually pretty stoked about how things turned out. I lost an hour to a weird fucking lighting bug, but once it got worked out and I was able to use Unity's new lighting system, I was actually really happy with the results, so that was a win too. So all things told, a bunch of stuff actually got done despite the frustration today, and if I can repeat that a few more times, we can ship this fucking thing. Pardon my language. But it is 12:15 and I have so much shit to do tomorrow. It's not even funny, so I am going to call it a night. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Really appreciate it.